That's great memories because they were great guys, especially Chris. You'd wrestle 45 minutes with Chris, you couldn't breathe. You'd go take a shower, you'd sit down for 45 minutes, you'd look for Chris, and he's running 15 miles out in the parking lot.
Huh. Wow.
And John was the river. He would get the greatest kick because he'd sew your pant legs together. Little small things, but he would laugh for 3 weeks. Chris was in such fantastic shape. He used to clean his nose out with the eye drops. And I had great memories. And I want to say this, they did help me a lot.
All right.
They were the Canadian wrecking crew. When I went into Vancouver, they teamed me up with Donald Jonathan. And we worked this big program with the Tolos Brothers. Of course, I was young. I used to blow up every night. Not because I wasn't in shape. I worked it every day. My nerves will blow you up faster than anything.
Right.
And that's the problem I had.
Memories of working Maple Leaf Gardens.
Yes, that was the greatest moments of my life. When all my mother could come down and now all my friends from Nova Scotia. Because when you live in a small town, you leave because there's nothing there. Now you're up in the big city. Then I found out who my friends were. None of them came to see me. So, my mother goes up and she's at the ring. She kicks the ring post. She breaks her big toe.
Right.
But
You sparred with George Foreman too, right?
many rounds. Me and George actually lived in Hayward, California.
Wow.
And I can remember my boy was very young. George used to go running. He'd come and knock on my window. My boy was scared to death of him. Big George with that cap pulled down. He was killer looking anyway. He had that killer's instinct.
All right.
Greatest guy in the world.
Nice guy.
Greatest guy in the world.
Did you own the grill?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got the grill.
Memories of working in California.
I had so many memories there. I wouldn't even know where to start. Like I said, I went in to Los Angeles. Roy Shires wanted to take a look at me. Mike, he liked me. Asked Mike, could he bowl me? In those times they used to trade talent. Now they steal it. And now it's only one territory.
Right.
But I go in there. Mike comes to me. He goes, Rocky, you're going up for Roy Shires. He's going to try and steal you. You're only going for 6 months. You're coming back. I said, okay, no problem. I went up and stayed 9 years.
Wow.
I have so many memories you would not believe.
What's one that stands out the most?
Stands out is the way they were so close as a family. There was no really a lot of jealousy because Roy was a shrewd man, but he let you know your position. And he'd bring these big superstars in and he'd say, here's your position. You like it? Fine. If you don't, pack your bags. There was no ifs. And he was finding somebody, including me. I was there when he fined Superstar Billy Graham $550. And he was not very diplomatic. He'd tell you in front of the boys, Johnson, you're getting fined $50. Like it or not, if you don't like it, pack your bags. You felt like getting up slapping in the mouth. But that's his job.
Right.
I've seen him fire many men.
Huh. What about Fred Blassie? What are your memories of Freddie?
Fred was different. He was a good man, so I don't like to talk about the dead. But Fred was strictly Fred Blassie.
Right.
If he had to step on your toes, he would do it. If he had to step on 10 people's toes, he would do it. And he was classy. He dressed class. Fred's going to wear his diamond rings. And he didn't, Fred was on top. He didn't take care how it got there.
Huh. Mil Mascaras. What are your memories of Mil?
Mil was a good guy, but hey, I'm Mil Mascaras and I'm in love with myself, so I don't need you to love me. That's simple. And he let you know.
Right. Did you wrestle the night JFK was shot?
Yes, I did.
What are your memories of that?
I was in Los Angeles, and they came in and told us that he had got shot in Dallas, Texas, and really nobody felt like wrestling. It was a sad situation.
What about Pat Patterson? Early memories of working with Pat?
I drove up and down the road for 5 years with Pat. Pat would be good for 6 months, then he would go into one of his moods for another 6 months. And Pat loved to play ribs. He would, in them days, you had the old hubcaps. He put pebbles in your hubcap. You're going down the road and you're hearing this noise. He'd be with you, but he wouldn't tell you.
Right.
He'd get out with you. What's that noise? Go ahead. And then when you move, you stop. I don't know what it is. And he'd keep that rib going and going. And you would go to the car shop the next day, and what's the noise? You pull the hubcap off, and there'd be 5 or 6 pebbles in there, and he swear to God he didn't do it. And then he would laugh, and then he has split personality.
Right.
And so ironic you brought up him. We live in Pembroke Pines, which is by Fort Lauderdale. Pat lives about 2 blocks from me. I see him all the time.
You still talk to him?
Oh yeah, he's. You know, if it's thunder and lightning, I see this guy on the golf course with a raincoat and a hat.
That's him.
And it's Pat. He's out there playing his golf. And, you know, he's friend of 40 years, Louis, so he keeps himself occupied.
He just actually retired last week.
I'm sorry?
He just retired last week.
Oh, Pat retires every 6 months.
Yeah.
He'll be back every 6 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, he's responsible for getting Rocky in, right?
Yes, he was. I trained him, and I asked Pat to take a look at him.
Right.
So that way we didn't have to go through all the blue tape or the red tape.
We'll talk about that coming up later on. Well, actually, I was going to say, do you find it ironic that years later Pat would be instrumental to your son's success?
I don't think it was instrumental to do with my son's success. I think he played a role in cutting all the red tape. And I trained him for a while, and we were living in Tampa, and Pat was living in Sunnybrook down there. And he asked me how my son's doing. I said, fine, I'm training him. He goes, why do you want to get in this business? I said, you tell me.
Right.
And he didn't want to play football. He came around to me one day, Dad, I played football, not interested. I said, okay. So I said, Pat, you take a look at him, you know, see what you think. And Pat took a look at him, and there's a kid standing on the top ropes at 6'5", 260, doing backflips, landing on his feet, and naturally I work with him.
Right.
So I know how to get him over. And Pat went and told Vince, and they took a look at him, and they said, okay, man, let's bring this guy in.
Sent him to Memphis and all that.
Yeah, they sent him in. Well, they flew him his first match into Corpus Christi. And Vader should come in and said, you know, what territory you been working? And then, the whole gimmick. And he got the big head. Naturally, I did too.
Right.
So I sat down, talked to him. And then after 3 months, he knew more than me.
Huh.
So I said, okay.
Huh. We'll talk about him coming up because there's probably a lot of stuff. What about your early memories of Ray Stevens?
My early memories of Ray, when I met Ray, is when I went into to California, and he was a star. He had every belt there was because, him and Roy opened the territory together.
Right.
And so naturally, he had all the belts, and Roy had got hurt, so Roy stuck to the promotions, and Ray made Ray the champion and everything, so everybody idolized Ray, and Ray was a great worker. And, and then I guess things happened, and Ray kind of financially got in a little bit of trouble, so Roy bought his part out, and that's when I met Ray when I came in. And he was an all right guy, strictly business.
Right.
Loved the party.
Huh.
And that was Ray.
Good in the ring?
Very great worker. Very good worker.
Memories of the Briscos?
Jack and Bristol, my personal friends. They are two people that I could actually sit here and tell you without a doubt they are. You have a lot of acquaintance in this business. Like Bruce Reed, I consider him a friend. But as a personal or close, I haven't seen him in 20 years.
Right.
But the Briscoe brothers, I consider very personal friends of mine. I've had a lot of fun with them, been all over the world with them. Went to the house for parties, they've been in my place.
Huh.
Yeah.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.